Hi, this is Coach Frank Bisarek. Today we're going to go over the basics of shortstop, kind of where we want to stand, just the basic minimals, so you can kind of decide whether you want to play shortstop. If you're a newer coach, whether that individual is kind of made for shortstop. Remember, the younger they are, the less they're going to be able to do. In other words, less range. So if you're looking for a shortstop, if you are wanting to be a shortstop, and you're above just somebody just starting 8 or 9, 7, 8, 9, where you don't know, you've got a whole lot of area to cover. You got to go from second base to third base, right? You got to go all the way back out in the grass and catch a pop fly if you can. You got to call them all the way up if it gets past the pitcher. So you got a lot to do. So what I would say is, if you're thinking about being a shortstop, if you're a coach looking for shortstops, what you want to look for is usually the most athletic person on your team. In other words, they can get left or right real fast. They can go front to back pretty quick. Doesn't mean the fastest player in the world, right, or on the team, but it's got to be someone that can feel and see the ball. As soon as it's hit, they're moving naturally with the ball. So don't just put somebody in that position because you think, wow, they're fast, right? The other part is, if you're thinking about being a shortstop, things are going to happen. You're going to make good plays, bad plays. You're going to miss ball. Stuff happens. You got to have a good level head, okay? So do not get out there and get really frustrated if something happens that may frustrate you because you thought you should have been able to make the play. Hey, there's a lot of times I thought I should have made the play. Of course, clearly, with my weight now, I can hardly make any plays, but just stay steady. You want a steady Eddie, not afraid to go get the ball, okay? So we're just going to start off at the lower level here, all the way up to 11s and 12s. A lot of people are on the in-house or rec leagues that really don't get taught a lot of this stuff. Dads and moms are coaching. They're trying to really get out there and help, but, they're working. They've got their kids are doing the best they can. But to really do a great job, sometimes it takes a lot of hours, unless you've had players that have worked up with you that understand what you're trying to do. Plus, they might teach different than if you're on a select side. So um, let's go over the basics real quick. Where to stand, right? You've got to cover between second base all the way over to third. If that third baseman goes in, you've got to take that bag all the way to the outfield until you hear an outfielder tell you, I got it, right? Or even in. You got to be able to maybe turn double plays as you get older. When you're younger, you shouldn't really worry about it. Let's worry about getting outs, right? Where do I stand? How do I stand? So let's start off with, where do I stand? If you're a total beginner, you're not sure, new coach. Now we're going off my step. So I'm not the tallest guy in the world. I'm a little less than 5'8", so I'm pretty short now. It seems like I'm going that way and out this way. So if you're shorter or they're younger kids, more steps, or taller, or you coaches or parents, if you're working with your child, can go out there and step it off, kind of give them an idea. But really what you're trying to do is get yourself in a position where you can go left to right, front to back, to make as many plays as you can. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I forgot to say, I'm in a direct line, like I drew an imaginary line to third base. Okay? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So you can be 10 to 8, depending on where you want to stand or where your coach wants you to be. I'm a little more than a quarter of the way to third base. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where my 11s, 12s, 13s, and up play. If I've got younger group, you're going to be in closer. Okay? Closer to the baseline. Baseline is, again, an imaginary line between second and third, first and second. Okay? You never want to just be standing on the baseline if there's a runner to your left, right? So you can, if your coach wants you in, take one step in front of that line, wants you back, but tight here, or if you want you way back, get all the way back here. Okay, so also depending on the speed. If I'm a fast player, I can cover all the way to second to all the way to third. There's times where I've got the ball. In other words, I get ball. I get ball. Act like a dog. Get ball. Get ball. So if the ball's hit to this side of the field, if I'm facing out the left side, if I'm in the field to your right side, anywhere from second base over, I'm either getting the ball or I'm backing it up. Okay? So even if it's a pop fly, I'm going to turn and I'm going to keep running and try to hit that ball unless I hear an outfielder tell me, I got it, then I quit. Okay? If the ball's hit the third base or in that area, what if it's in between me and the third baseman? Usually I've got ball, but if he takes it, then I got to run over and cover third base. I'm going to get down, I'm ready, boom, I turn, I cross over, and I sprint over there. I want to try to, don't assume because it's hit over there, the third baseman's got it. You're the shortstop, you're the king or queen. You want to make sure anything in between here, that's mine, I got it, okay? You have, if the ball's hit to second base or right in that area, you're going to sprint and you're going to run and you're going to assume you got the ball because you have an easier way to throw it to first. So I'm running here, the ball's coming, down, up, right foot, left foot, throw, follow. If I'm a second baseman, I'm going to have to try to run, get this ball, turn, change my feet, turn, and throw. That's a lot to do, okay? So anything in this area. If you're playing a league where there's steals, if the ball's thrown down from second, you need to communicate, talk with your coaches. But normally the shortstop's going to get it. So you've got ball, and you're going to straddle the bag, tag the runner up and show the up. Okay? If you're back up and the second baseman's taking the throw, you're running back here and you're getting 10 to 15 feet behind it, and you're ready for a bad throw. If I have a runner on first, and you're trying to get the runner at second base, which is called a force out, because now I got a runner at first, ball's hit, they have to run, or they're automatically out. Then I want you to come over, and again, it's an automatic out if you touch the bag and receive the ball. You don't have to tag them. Okay, it's a force out. Okay, so you got two choices. This is what I teach because I don't want to be in line if the first baseman gets the ball and is throwing to me. I don't want to make it hard for them to throw and have to throw through somebody. So I want you to sprint over and touch this side of the base with your foot. Keep this foot close so you can stride out, stride over, jump up if it's high. Okay? That way, the first base is throwing the ball. You're giving them a target, and it's not in line with that player. Get that out. If you want to turn two, we're going to get into that in another video where we'll do different steps, okay? If it's the second baseman, we don't want to be on this side in most cases. That runner's coming, then the second baseman's trying to throw to this side of the runner. If it's a force out, not a tag out, a force out. So I'm going to run to this side of the bag, so I'm on this side with the second base man, and when the feet are close, throw hand touching the bag, I'm ready, pop. I'm ready, pop. If I need to jump, I can jump, okay? So that'll make it easier for either your first baseman to throw or your second baseman. So again, listen to your coach, ask him where to stand. The basics are a little more to corner and kind of deep. I got all this area. Don't ever assume that the other individual has the ball. You take the ball, right? And if the third baseman's coming, or if it's a pop-up and you have a better look at it, you call him off. If it's a pop-up in the middle and it's close to the pitcher, unless he's waving his arm like a crazy man, it's usually an easier catch for you. You run up, call off the first baseman, get underneath it, boom. Okay? All right, so that's a brief synopsis. It's probably not all that brief. I know I talk a lot. Of shortstop. So I appreciate you watching the series. This will help, again, young players, coaches, even older players if they never were taught right or they're trying to try out for another position. That way you have a good start of what to do. But basically, the most important thing about being a shortstop is to be aggressive. You want to be aggressive and have a good head on your shoulders. Don't panic. Don't get too frustrated, okay? Because the team's going to go as you go in most cases. This is Coach Frank. We'll see you next time. I think we got the third base video coming next.